Been blown away by all the love and support that you guys have sent my way. One of the greatest joys of hosting this show is that you're never alone. And so to all of you who have been so kind to me and my family this past few months, can I just say a huge Garamila Malgat.
An awkward moment occurred on This Morning when Kat Deeley appeared to admit she and co-host Ben Shepherd cheat when fronting one of the show's competitions.
Presenter Kat Deeley confessed that relocating back to the UK with her husband Patrick Kielty and their 2 children was really hard.
They were once the kind of couple people pointed to and said, "That's what real love looks like." Kat Deeley, elegant, bright, and disarmingly natural in front of the camera. Patrick Kielty, the sharp, quick-witted Irishman who could make anyone laugh without trying. Together, they seemed untouchable. Not the loud kind of celebrity couple that lives for headlines, but the quiet, private kind that seemed built on something stronger. They met in 2002, worked together, stayed friends for years, then fell in love when the timing was right. When they married in Rome in 2012, it wasn't about glamour, it was about connection. Real love, real stability. But 12 years later,
Kat Deeley and Patrick Kielty have revealed they are splitting after 13 years together. The couple, who wed in 2012, announced they had called it quits today. They said in a joint statement, "We have taken the decision to end our marriage and are now separated. There is no other party involved."
There is no other party involved. We will continue to be united as loving parents to our children. No drama, no scandal, just an ending, quiet, controlled, and deeply human. What followed wasn't the usual tabloid circus. It was sadness, the kind that sits heavy because it feels real. People who knew them said this wasn't sudden. It was slow, a gradual drifting apart that no one wanted to admit was happening.
It was really hard.
I think that I thought I was dealing with it. And I genuinely thought,
"You are welcome."
Their lives had simply grown in different directions. Kat had built her television empire, So You Think You Can Dance, This Morning, fashion features, endless travel. Patrick, meanwhile, had found his rhythm in Ireland again, taking on the Late Late Show, a national institution that demanded every ounce of his energy. The two of them were thriving individually but rarely together. Then came the pressure of the move back from Los Angeles to London, a shift that was meant to bring them closer, but somehow did the opposite. They bought a £5 million property in Barnet, an architectural gem that became their passion project. But like many things that look beautiful on the outside, the renovation turned into a source of stress. Delays, decisions, the endless logistics of building a dream home, all of it layered over 2 intense careers and raising 2 young boys. What was meant to be their fresh start became, in many ways, their breaking point. Kat, ever the professional, returned to This Morning with her trademark composure. No visible cracks, no trace of chaos, just the same radiant smile the public has known for 2 decades. But those close to her say the strength came at a cost. She's always been resilient, the type who holds it together for everyone else. But holding it together doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Patrick, meanwhile, stepped back into the Late Late Show with grace. But something was different. Viewers noticed it. The tone in his voice. The quiet moments between the jokes. During his first appearance after the split, he thanked the audience for their support. His voice wavered. Just slightly. Enough to remind everyone that behind the professional polish, there's a man trying to process loss in real time, under the bright lights of television. Insiders say he's struggling with the emptiness of it all, the absence of routine, the silence after the noise, the feeling of missing the family unit. He's not broken, just human, trying to adapt to a life he never expected to live alone. What makes their stories so powerful is that it's not about betrayal, ego, or scandal. It's about 2 people doing their best, and still losing each other anyway. Love under pressure. Fame under a microscope. 2 people whose schedules, ambitions, and responsibilities grew faster than the space between them could hold. Patrick once said in an old interview that their marriage didn't always feel like a 50-50 partnership. Maybe that was the quiet warning sign. The invisible imbalance that builds over time until it quietly tips the scales. And through it all, they've both stayed dignified. No public blame. No cryptic social posts. Just silence and co-parenting. The kind of maturity that's rare in an industry that thrives on drama. Today, Kat is said to be focusing on her children and her work, trying to protect her sons from the headlines while adjusting to her new normal. Patrick, on the other hand, is reportedly finding comfort in routine, focusing on his show, his friends, and rebuilding from the inside out. Both of them still share a bond, not romantic anymore, but built on respect and shared history. Two people who built a life together, now learning to live apart. Their story isn't a tabloid tragedy. It's a reminder that even the strongest relationships can crack under the quiet weight of distance and expectation. That love can still be real, even when it doesn't last forever. And that sometimes, walking away isn't failure, it's acceptance. Because not every heartbreak is loud. Some just fade. Slowly. Softly. Until all that's left are the echoes of what used to be. Two people who once had it all, now learning to start again. And maybe that's the part that hurts the most, knowing that love wasn't the problem. Time was. Pressure was. Life was. But in the end, even when love fades, respect can remain. If you made it this far, take a second, not to gossip, but to remember that behind every headline is a human story. A story of love, loss, and lessons learned. Because sometimes the hardest goodbyes are the quiet ones. And if you want more real stories like this, the ones behind the smiles, behind the lights, make sure to subscribe. There's always more than what you see on cam.